Well, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for letting me share my story. When life knocks us down for the first time, we typically don't hesitate to get up. We brush ourselves off, stiffen our lip, fix our hair, and give it another go. And we strut on until we're knocked down again. But this time we pause for a moment before peeling ourselves off of the ground. We never imagined that we would be here again, yet we find the courage to get back up once more. And the moment we find ourselves comfortable again, everything we became accustomed to without a moment's notice can once again become unraveled. Just how long will things be good for? Obstacles aren't naturally welcomed with open arms, so we like to keep the challenges at arm's length because we fear, and that fear is so instinctively etched into our bones. The value in obstacles is so frequently undermined. So let's reframe it, because obstacles actually create opportunity. I never quite fit in growing up. Instead of going to dances and hanging around with friends, I was more interested in attending conservatory classes, performing, recording, and working on my craft. I was starving to grow as an artist, but it came with a price. I was tiny enough to stay comfortable if I got shoved in a locker, true story. And I was always true to my artistic self, regardless of the consequences. But little did I know that my armor was actually being molded and shaped. Armor that would one day cover the scars. And after all, scars only add to a really, really good story about strength. After years of working as an administrative assistant, collections manager, actress, waitress, recording artist, sales manager, and please laugh at this one, extended car warranty specialist. I was starving for something more, something that would impact change. And I had prayed for years for God to bring something into my life where I could lead and impact change. I knew that I was meant for more, and I really felt it coming. You know, it's sort of like that moment right before an earthquake hits. You can just feel it in your bones. Years had gone by, and I had experienced my fair share, of trauma and loss, far too much for somebody of only 30 years old. I found myself part of the Me Too movement after being sexually assaulted by casting directors. I had survived and left a marriage as a victim of domestic violence and retrained my brain to function normally outside of the dysfunction of narcissistic control. I soon began changing my appearance because if I looked tough, nobody could hurt me. And trust me, people get really, really confused when they see the tattoo girl sing Broadway. I had thought at the time that all of this pain was weighing me down, and for a while, I let it. But the pain was actually shaping me. In September of 2019, my whole world changed when I heard the words, "You have MS." And explaining this next part is difficult, and I'm sure my sanity has been questioned on many occasions. But I immediately felt this overwhelming sense of calm and peace. And I can truly only describe that sense of composure as God. This was my purpose being unveiled through pain. Now I realize that an MS diagnosis will not be the answer of purpose for many of us in this room tonight, and that's okay. This is just my story. But mindset is everything. And gratitude can make optimism stick. Just because MS didn't give you purpose does not mean that you cannot shift this into something positive. Because I know that every single person in this room living with MS is stronger because of MS. Intrepidity is defined as resolute courageousness, a quality of spirit that enables you to face fear and face danger without showing that you're afraid. And I had been through far too much in life to let this break me. So instead, I chose to let it make me. 5 days after diagnosis, I started my brand of a hot MS, like a hot mess, get it? To motivate those to celebrate your mess. Celebrate your mess. The victories in life get way too much attention. So I flung myself into a new career to help others through their diagnosis and create something that would take the shame out of MS and bury the fear that clung to its back. So I advocate the only way I know how, through artistry. As a writer, motivational speaker, musician, and artist, my job is to widen perception, break stigma, and promote authenticity and truth-telling. My original music with my music partner, Kristen Spath, has taken a complete shift, as now we only write and perform original music that is written for the MS and disability communities to inspire, motivate, and help them. And I'm so happy to announce that we're launching our very first single of our upcoming record that's to be released next year, where 100% of all proceeds of the single will be donated to the MS Society. And who knows, maybe you just might hear a lyric or two woven into my message tonight. It's really, really easy to allow this life to destroy us. It can cause us to question our worth, our value, and our strength. We live in bodies that are so tremendously unpredictable, yet we find new ways to navigate around numb limbs, faulty bladders, and cognitive dysfunction that leaves our brains in a current buffering mode. We are hot messes, and the days of that actually being a bad thing, they are so gone. So it's time to celebrate the mess. Celebrate the mess. Celebrate the mess. Embrace the imperfection and brag about the disasters, because the mess is always authentic. It will always teach us something. The mess is never, ever going to show up and pretend to be something different. It's raw, it's real, and can transform us into the most powerful version of ourselves. I've shared the monsters in my closet throughout the years with a select group of people because I feared the reaction. I feared the judgment. So I asked myself, who can I help if I stay quiet? I've shared to offer the value of perception, and if someone asked me if I would do it all over again, regardless of how hard it was, hands down, I would always say yes. Your armor will never, ever stop being molded and shaped, making you impenetrable. MS is not easy at all, but look at what we've created from it. I'm just blown away to be here tonight for Challenge Walk MS. So I'd like to personally thank all of the walkers. If you're walking for yourself, if you're walking for a loved one, if you're carrying on the legacy of someone. We could not do this without you. Look, life is going to continue to knock us down. And just when we get back up, we no sooner are going to hit the pavement all over again. So next time you fall, instead of thinking you just lost, open your perception. Because scars can make us 10 times stronger. And I say that's a win. And sometimes, in order for something greater to unfold in our lives, we have to allow everything that we knew to be completely destroyed and broken first, so that we can rebuild. It's okay to start from scratch. So I'd like to invite each of you to raise your glass, and if mobility prevents you from doing so, then raise an eyebrow. MS has given us so many things: strength, perseverance, community, friendships. but it has also taken so much from us. So raise your glass as we address multiple sclerosis directly. MS.
MS.
You can have my body, but you can never have my soul. Cheers. Thank you.
I told you she'd be powerful.